Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at Scala 2 and how to compose your own music. So how to use your own chords in Scala, and then we're going to take this into GarageBand and show you how to arrange this into a complete song. So this is really very cool and very, very powerful indeed. Now, of course, with Scala, you can use existing scales, existing songs, artist songs, and build up your own stuff from the chords that they've put together, the chord progressions they've used, right? But you've probably got some of your own chords. Now, I have my MIDI keyboard hooked up like this, and I've got tons of chord sequences I use in the videos and stuff, but I don't know the names of the chords. I just play them, right? So things like this. Now, the cool thing with Scala is we can use detect mode for it to work out what those chords are, and it's super easy. All we need to do is hit this now, and now we're in detect mode, okay? And our source is MIDI, not audio, so MIDI. The source is MIDI. So it's all set up, and all we need to do now is just play those chords. Now, you have to be careful here, right? You have to precisely play the chord, otherwise it starts adding in extra notes and stuff. But don't worry about that. It doesn't really matter. We can delete those notes. But I'm going to play those chords, and I'm not playing the chords now like I would play them in the song. So maybe I've already got an idea in my head of how the song is going to play. I'm just going to play the chords. So, and that's an F major 7. Got a weird one here I don't want to put in. Here we go. So now I've got these 8 chords, right? We can come out of record mode and detect mode now. And if I play these, okay, so they play exactly as I put them in. And we can choose how many beats and stuff. I'm going to click that again because it will have reverted to 2 beats. And what I'm going to do is I can drag these down one at a time. So I could just do that and put them in different orders. But since I played them in the right order, I can literally just select them all like that by holding and dragging, and just drag the lot down into my pattern. Now, this is important, okay? To save your own chord sets, your own chord sets like this, you need to have created a pattern. Now, don't worry about the timing. If I play this now, each one will change on 4 beats. I think it's 90 BPM or something. Yeah, there you go, 90 BPM, 4 beats. Now, if we wanted to go further, and we're not going to, but if we wanted to, we can then go into sequence and change up the octave for some of them. And we could change the inversion. So for this one, we'll have that inversion. And then we can also change the inversions for others as well. And we can also change the speed, how many times that one section will repeat. Maybe you want this chord here to repeat twice at the end. Maybe you want the speed of some of them, like and that will play. So if I play this now, we've changed up the inversions and the chords. See, it plays twice. Right, cool beans. So we can go back to our main page now. Now you've built up your own sequence, right? We want to save it. So here it says save. Click on this. Give it a name. Let's call this nice chords. We'll just call it nice chords. And we don't need to replace an existing session with this. We'll just go okay. And there it is, our nice chords, okay, and we're done. So now if I clear my state, clear state, go into user, go to where it says nice chords, click on the session, and there you go, it loads in your nice chords, but it forgets everything else. Then you could start saying scales and stuff and saying, well, maybe some chords will go with others. That's for another tutorial, but we've now got our nice chord set. Now, okay, let's clear this state again, and I'm going to show you something else before we move on to anything else at all. With detect, if we hit this, now we're now detecting from MIDI. If I hit my F major chord here, like this, and then I accidentally hit a D, you'll see that D will appear, and I could like, oh, I've hit loads of extra mistakey notes. If you do this, it's cool, right? All you need to do is come out of this stop detect mode. You won't be able to drag in, right? You're only able to drag the chords. You can't drag the notes, and they're basically mistakes. Okay, so you don't want them in there. So what you need to do is hit shift, click on what you want to delete, and just hit remove. Okay, shift, click on what you want to delete. Maybe you want to convert it to a unison chord. Okay, now you can drag it in. Okay, so like I said, shift, click, remove any mistakes that you might have made. Okay, let's reset this, clear state. What else could we do? You can choose how it plays. So for example, let's go into our user section here, and here's quite a large one called elasticity. Let's click on this. Now, this is the kind of thing you can do. You'll see I have 4 patterns here. Okay, starting on pattern 1, and if I go to my pad mode, you'll see these 4 patterns are represented across this, and changes may have been made in the sequence, you know, for each individual thing. It doesn't look like I have, but you know, you could have. All right, now in your pad mode, to join these chords together, you would literally just link them up like that, the same as you do in the main screen mode. You hold and drag if you've got multiple patterns that you want to chain together, sort of thing. But this one, you can play this from pad mode. This one would sound like this. So okay, let's say, well, let's speed this up to say, I don't know, let's speed it up to 140. So now it's going to play at 140 BPM, and let's play. And on it'll go. It'll just play through until it gets to, well, it changes here. There's a reason for doing it like this, okay? There's a reason for arranging your song as you want it, because it'll make life easier in a bit. Right, okay, so that's cool. We've done that. Go back to main. Now, the song I am going to use, oh, yeah, the other thing was, you can get this before you even start to export. We can, like, say, go into perform mode and go, well, okay, let's maybe try an up, down, repeat arpeggio for this. Okay, I'm not going to use that for this particular thing. If you want to stop that, just switch it off. All right, so I'm going to go into user and go into this one called the detective and open it up like this. Now, you see this? This is pick the last chord that I use, but this is my chord. So this is what we're going to be using in GarageBand. And at this point, all I want is the chords to start with. I don't want it to do anything fancy. It doesn't even matter about the instrument. We're going to be changing all the instruments. So very simple, 8 chords, dead easy, no messing around. It's going to make life quicker for us when we move over. All right, so we could humanize and all the rest of it. It doesn't matter at this point what your BPM is or what your beats are and stuff like that. We can sort all that out in GarageBand or Logic if you were to use it in Logic or something else. You know, you can use multiple scalars in a project, but I find this way to be the easiest and most interesting way to compose and arrange songs with scalar. I really do, and you'll see why in a moment when we move over. So you've got your chord set. You've recorded it yourself using your detect mode. Like I said, you can use scale songs. You can have it suggest other chords. You can create another pattern and change these chords up, of course, you know, or detect another set of chords that might go well with this. You don't have to use these, of course. Use a scale. It doesn't really matter. But for our benefit, for our purposes for this, I just want to use these 8 chords. It's going to make life super simple. And I've already saved it. It's called a detective. So that's a done deal. So let's go and check this out in GarageBand. Okay, so here we are in GarageBand. I'm just going to create a new project. Where's my mouse gone? Here we go. So just hit plus. And what I'm going to do first is go to our external instruments section here and look at audio unit extensions. And I'm going to go and find scalar. Scroll up. There we go, Scalar 2. And now you'll see Scalar 2 and Scalar 2 Lite. Use Scalar Lite 2 for GarageBand. It works much better. It's not like diminished or anything like that. Just use Scalar 2 Lite. Scalar Lite. So we're going to click on this and it's going to open up a scalar for us like this. Okay, cool. And you'll see it'll have nothing in it. Now, we want to go to our user section like we've just seen and find the detective, which is the song we're going to use, and we're going to open it like this. And now we're going to go into the settings of scalar. Okay, we're going to leave let's see, just let's chord duration, we're going to go 4 beats. Go back, and I am going to look for DAW sync, and I'm going to switch that on like that. Go back. You'll see it's now changed the tempo from 90 to 110, which is GarageBand's default tempo. Okay, so we can close this now. And now if I press the transport, it's going to play that chord sequence for us right now. So this is where the fun really begins. What we need to do first of all is open our settings menu here, and where it says metronome and counting, open this and switch counting off, which will also disable visual counting. Scalar tends to record immediately, so you don't want counting on, and you don't need it on for arranging your song, right? It's fine because Scalar's going to be doing all the work here. You don't need to do anything else. You've got your chords. We're going to let Scalar deal with everything else, all sorts of other cool stuff. Right, so let's just close our menu here. And now as soon as I hit record, it's going to record those chords in, right? So you're making sure you're back at the bottom. Just hit record. And when it's finished, GarageBand will stop recording, which is great. So it's just going to record these 8 bars. It's done. We don't need metronome on neither. Now if we go in here, you'll see that Scalar has now generated these chords for us, right? This is awesome. What we want to do now is get an instrument to play those chords for us. So I'm going to open this. Let's make this wider like this. I'm going to open this for choose another instrument. And I could use the GarageBand internal instruments, or I can use audio units. For just for now, let's use GarageBand's internal instruments. Let's choose Alchemy for the start off, right? And let's do this. Let's go back to main categories. Let's look for keyboards and let's find a nice kind of let's keyboard sound. Maybe a piano sound. What's this? Okay, so that sounds quite nice. We'll use that one, right? So hit done. Go back here to our main page where we've added our dark lo-fi piano. Now, all I'm going to do, right, is click on this and drag that MIDI down to that. Now, what I'm going to have to do, of course, is I'm going to have to mute scalar, because I'll show you. You see, if you don't mute it, you'll hear it. We don't want to hear it and it'll play weird. So that's cool, right? So for this kind of music, which is kind of like noir, if you like, we're going to add another section before we build anything else. So I'm just going to duplicate this section. Okay, so we've got two sections now, and this is section B, and it's going to be identical to section 1. However, what we're going to do now is unmute scalar, go back into it by double clicking it, and I am going to add in a bass now. Cool. I'm going to choose a sound. It's going to be similar to the sound that I want in GarageBand. It doesn't really matter. It can be anything, but I'm going to go, right, okay, bass guitar, right? I'm going to go into my perform section now, open this up, choose bass. I'm just going to go with common bass, and I'm going to go with common bass basic 1 and open this. And now when I play, we're going to hear our new piano and also this new MIDI being generated by Scalar for a bass line for us, right? But the cool thing is, of course, it is going to just carry on and use our chord sequence. So right, let me try another one. We can do this, by the way, on the fly. Let's try basic 2. Yeah, that's much better. And because it's a bass, what we can do now is we can go into our sequencer section here and go, well, okay, it's going to be a bass. Let's lower everything down an octave. Don't worry about that noise. So now it's going to be lowered an octave. So let's just hit record. Oh yeah, making sure we're back at the beginning. Cool, it'll just stop. Now you hear that it starts to play over itself, right? So we don't want that. This is why we mute scalar. All right, when we've sorted it out. So now we've got a bass line and we're on section B. We need to find a bass sound. Well, like I said, well, let's just carry on using, let's go with Alchemy again. Let's go in here. Let's find a sound. Go back to our main categories. And let's see. We've got guitars, bass guitar, really. So let's go back again. I'm going to go to other. I'm going to look for the muted bass. Okay, so or the P bass. It doesn't really matter. We can change this out. So we've chosen a bass sound. Let's go back to our main page here, and let's copy this MIDI down here. Let's make sure that scalar is muted, and let's hear how that sounds. Awesome stuff. Right, so cool beans. We can change the piano up now. Let's create another section. Okay, so we'll just duplicate that. So we've got section C. Let's choose it now. And this time we're going to go to scalar again. Double click to open it. I'll go back to my main page and choose this felt piano again. Let's go back and go with this felt piano. And let's go into performances here, go back. Let's go to arpeggio this time and maybe go up, down, repeat. this time and see how that sounds. Now, let's remember to go into our sequence and take our octave back up for all of them. Of course, you could do some inversions if you wanted to as well. Doesn't really matter for this because we're using an arpeggio. Let's go back here. Okay, cool. And let's record that piano in for this section. So again, just hit record. We go back to our main section, see what's going on. Okay, let's do this, see what we've got going on. So here's our new section. We're on section C, we know. We duplicated that, right? So let's take out this piano. So just delete it, drag the MIDI down from there. So anyway, we've dragged our new piano melody or arpeggio down onto the piano track. I'm going to mute scaler and see how that sounds. Okay, so let's add in some percussion or drums actually here. So let's go with our, let's see, drummers. Let's find them. Here we go. So we'll go with acoustic. And I think probably some maybe brush drums, maybe some pop brush drums here might sound nice. Let's see. Okay, now we'll start it quite, have it a bit louder. Okay, cool. Now we can make some adjustments to the volume of the drums. In fact, we'll go in here and just turn the compressor up a bit for them. And the track volume. Go back to the beginning. Okay, so now we've created all these different parts. Let's check out, let's get rid of that for a sec. Let's make a new section. Okay, so we'll just, again, we'll just duplicate that because we can keep those. But don't forget, we're working with MIDI, so we can take anything else out. Let's go into scale again now. Maybe we could add some kind of melodic line over the top of this. So let's choose a sound for starters, maybe an ordinary piano. Let's go with a grand piano. And this time in perform, we'll open this up, go back, pattern, and maybe look at sequences. We've got some common sequences, some basic stuff. Let's just try basic 4, see how that sounds. Now you can see we can change the resolution. We could have it go. Let's do that. Let's have it go half speed. Okay, so all we need to do literally is just hit record. Don't forget, of course, when you've finished, you'll get some weird stuff coming back in through from scalers. So we can hit mute on that. And now we can just choose a sound that we're going to use for that kind of lead. Well, let's use a synth. Let's get a alchemy synth going on here. Let's go with maybe some sort of lead sounds, maybe, or strings. Let's see. Yeah, oh, that's nice. But what about this? Yep, or beautiful synth harp. Dusty strings. I quite like that. So let's hit done, go back, and yep, just drag that MIDI here onto our track, and let's hear how that sounds. Okay, let's duplicate this section, section D, right? Let's take this particular bass line out. We're going to delete this. So we're going to busy up the bass line a bit for this. And we're also going to make some changes to the drummer. Actually, I'll make the changes to the drummer now. So more fills, more complex. I'm going to add in some percussion. I'm going to have follow on, and I'm going to choose it to follow the bass line. Okay, so I could actually go back and do that for the same section, but it doesn't really matter. So the kick and snare are going to be following the bass. Okay, so, and we've busied it up a bit, so it's going to sound slightly different, which is cool. Now we can go back into Scalar here and look at our perform. Let's change this back to our bass guitar. So let's see, bass, and we'll just put it back on Scalar's bass for now. Go into perform, go back, go back, go back, back, go into bass. Stick with common bass, but we'll choose maybe basic 8 and see what sounds this like. See what this sounds like. So let's just go. Gonna see if I can get something a bit more busy going on for that. Yep, that'll do. And don't forget now that I want to go into my sequence, of course, and drop our bass down an octave because it's a bass. So again, we can go back in here. Sorry, let's go to this and hit record. Make sure we're back at the beginning. Okay, awesome stuff. Again, all we need to do is mute our scalar, drag our new bass line down to here. We could also, I think, probably make that arpeggio for the piano a bit more exciting now. So let's delete that and go back into Scalar. Let's choose our, let's go back to our main screen here. And again, let's just choose a piano sound. Again, we can stick with our original piano we used. It doesn't really matter. Piano, felt piano will be fine. And let's make the arpeggio for this now a bit more lively. So we'll go back here, go back, go with arpeggios. And actually, no, this time let's go with something completely different. Let's go with maybe some sort of performance for the piano. So we'll try common performances. Let's try basic performance 3, see how that sounds. And I do need to take my piano back up. Cool, and see how that sounds. And now what the cool thing is we can, you know, audition different performances. In fact, let's change that sound so we can hear it a bit better. Oh yeah, that sounds really good. Okay, so let's just record that. Okay, let's go back to here. Let's switch scaler up. Well, let's mute it anyway. And let's take that into our dark lo-fi piano. See how that sounds now. So before let's just add one more section for now. Let's go with duplicate section A, and we're going to add another instrument in now. So now we kind of want maybe some sort of pad sound. I guess would sound okay with this. So let's go into scalar and let's switch perform off. So we're just getting the chords. Let's go with something like, see if we can find some sort of maybe string ensemble or something. Let's see. Okay, let's just open up our controls for this and turn the output volume down for scalar. Okay, I'm just going to record that in. Okay, go back and I'm going to mute scalar just for now. So I remember I'm going to add in some sort of synth sound, some sort of pad sound. So let's see, pads. Yeah, that might sound really nice, actually. Let's try with that. But like I said, we're working with MIDI. We can change the sounds with anytime we like. So just grab this MIDI, drag it down here. Awesome stuff. Scale is muted. Let's see how this sounds. Nothing's properly mixed yet. Okay, this is our keyboard sound, so let's make this a little bit more busy now. Let's delete that. Let's go back into scalar, of course. In fact, let's unmute scalar before I carry on. Let me see if I can. I'll have to probably have to do it from here. Oh, it's unmuted it. Right, so we're looking to replace that kind of lead line sound. So we're gonna again go back, Go to synth. Maybe try that. Hang on. I need to go with my performances. Go down here. Basic performance. Let's try basic performance 8. I think that's probably the wrong kind of sound. Yeah, it is. That'll do. Let's just see what it sounds like. Right. Go into sequence. I don't really want that kind of thing with chords, so let's do that. That sounds really good. So again, all we need to do is record our performance in. Doesn't matter that the other stuff's muted. Okay, we need to go back now. There's our MIDI, which we're going to put onto our Bandora Dreams sound. We're going to mute scalar and see how it sounds. Okay. Awesome stuff. Now, let's see. We have, if we look at all sections, now we've built up all these sections where scalar will change. So it's cool. It starts like that. Now, what I would do now, which is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take this project into Logic Pro. I'm not going to do anything else in Logic Pro. So if you've been watching this via Premiere, bless you all. Thank you very much. I hope you found it useful and interesting. The possibilities are endless, of course. You can go on and on and on, changing up different things in Scalar, dragging them into different MIDI, changing the instruments, etc., etc. I will play the project through, of course, in Logic when we open it in there. So what we need to do, this is so easy now. Let's just close this. So if we hit our little thingy, it's going to save the project, right? And what we're going to do is give this a name. So I'm just going to long hold on it. I'm going to rename it and call it Detective, because the sequence I call The Detective. I'm going to hit plus here so it saves it. And then what we can do is close GarageBand like this. Just get rid of it. You don't even need it open. So close it, open Logic like this. Oh, and there it is, Detective. Now what's going to ask? It's going to ask us if we want to convert the file. So open GarageBand song with Logic Pro. Opening this GarageBand song will now create a duplicate and convert it into a compatible Logic project. Continue. Okay, I will. Thank you very much. So it'll do that. And there it is in Logic now, where you can start to add even more effects, change the sounds up. Of course, you can then continue to manipulate Scalar. You know what I mean? So you can go in there and go, oh, okay, look, I'll open Scalar and then make some more adjustments and carry on. It's just that I find it easier to start the project in GarageBand because the stop-start record thing works tons better. Just don't remember, if you're going to just use this in Scalar, to make sure you have your counting switched off so that it will start to record immediately. And then what you'll need to do is like kind of stop record yourself after it's stopped, because I'm not sure if, but there probably is a way to set it up to stop record after it's recorded a cycle. Anyway, right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Brilliant, top job. And of course, now you can do further editing. You can go in and do all your kind of stuff like this. You can go and add in any effects you like. You can mix it properly for the start off now, much easier. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll play the project through and I'll just let it spin out at the end. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.